Hi, Al. Sorry for the delay. Uh, just a minute. We'll start the session. Okay, guys. So in the last session, what we have done, so we discussed about like how to work with our implementation. So based on data masking implementation, right? Okay. So today, so what we will do is, so we will discuss about the pricing model. Because so based on if you understand the pricing model, it's nothing but how the Snowflake is going to give the charges to us, right? So how much we need to pay whenever we are utilizing the Snowflake. So how they are going to charge? It is not like a traditional licensing system. We know that what we know till now. So we know that we are going to use based on the utilization, right? For example, so for 1 hour of our virtual warehouses, we are going to pay around $2, right? This is what we know. And at the same time, this $2, right? This pricing, it depends on your virtual warehouse size. Our virtual warehouse sizes. Virtual warehouse sizes will be different. So for example, so we will see that. And so based on the virtual warehouse sizes, your pricing is going to vary. And at the same time, based on, so with these virtual warehouses, so the pricing based on which edition we are going to utilize, which edition we are using, that is nothing but Snowflake editions. So we'll have three different kinds of editions, so which we are going to use. Based on that, this particular amount will be slightly, it will vary. This is related to our computation charges. We used to call computation charges. Okay, computation so charges. So now another charge, so what the majorly so it will be involved is, another thing is coming to storage. We have storage cost. Storage cost again, so when it is coming to 1 terabyte storage, this is per month. 1 month for 1 terabyte, Snowflake is going to charge in between 23 to $40. It depends. Again, $23 to $40. It depends on so which particular edition you are going to use, right? Based on that, will be vary. And there is two concepts in storage pricing. One is prepaid and postpaid. Like pre-purchased, another thing is, so one is pre-purchased, another thing is post-purchased. So one is we used to pre-purchase, we used to call it as a capacity storage. And so after purchase, like postpaid, we will call it as a on demand or capacity storage. We will see that. Now if you wanted to see the computation, so what all the charges it will be applicable, other than these two, these are the two major charges. Other than these two, we will have some other charges, so that we used to call it as a so cloud services, but it will be very minimal. Always it will be negligible. And then so serverless serverless futures cost. For example, so Snowpipe implementation, and for example, clustering implementation, materialized view implementation. These are some of the serverless features. Going forward, we are going to discuss all these things. So based on this also, there will be slight charges will be applicable. So majorly, one is computation charges, storage charges. And coming to cloud services, we can ignore this. Why we need to ignore this? We will discuss that. And then another charges will be serverless features. So these are the charges it will be applicable. Now, if you want to understand clearly how the things like are working here, if you come to whatever the things it is available, sorry, let me show you. So everything in a pricing model, whatever the things we are seeing here, right? Everything it is available. If you go to Google, you can able to see, just a type Snowflake pricing. You can able to get this one, Snowflake and pricing implementation. See this. So what you can able to see here. So we can able to see this one. These are the additions. First thing what it is asking the platform based on cloud platform. So we'll have the different charges. For example, here Amazon AWS S3, right? Amazon AWS platform, sorry, AWS platform. And then region, I'm selecting US East. When I select a region US East, and then this is AWS. So see this, what are the prices? We have three different editions: standard edition, enterprise edition, business critical edition, and virtual private. When it is coming to virtual private, right, this is not applicable for every region, and then every region it is not applicable. And if you observe standard, enterprise and business critical, so most of the organizations will use enterprise edition or business critical edition. No one will go for a standard edition. Standard edition only for to do kind of trial account and all those things. We will use a standard edition, because in standard edition we won't have these features like time travel feature, and then data masking implementation feature, materialized view feature. All these things it is not available in a standard edition. So that, so what we have to, so concentrate on enterprise edition, business critical edition. So most of the time the projects they are going to utilize. When it is coming to see this one, standard edition, it is telling that $2, and then enterprise edition it is $3, and then this one business critical $4. But when it is coming to virtual private, it depends on the cloud platform, and this there you need to contact to Snowflake support team to get the pricing. And if you observe which edition we are using, if you wanted to see that, see this one here, you can if you click on this, you can able to observe, see this one edition. This is, what is the edition here? This is enterprise edition, right? Which we have selected. Like that you can able to understand which edition, and then what is the region we are utilizing, right? Now if you come here, so this selected AWS and then US region. Let me change region here. See this one, in same AWS cloud platform we are changing region to, so EU, the London region. Now if you observe, see this one, previously it is 2, now it is 2.70. Here it is around 3 or 4. So these are the charges, right? And at the same time, if you observe, see this one, on demand storage, this is postpaid, like that. This is sorry, this is capacity storage, this is kind of prepaid. Capacity storage is prepaid, on demand is postpaid. Understand, right? So now when it is coming to this one, right, so this is the charges you can able to see for the UA region. And if I again, if I change to some other region, let's say, see this one, so Asia Pacific, Mumbai I have selected. Now observe this, slightly it is varied, right? And then observe the charges also. For the capacity storage they are telling $25. For the on-demand storage it is $46, right? Now let me change region from AWS to, for example, Azure, sorry, cloud provider, from AWS to Azure, right? So based on the organization, so they will choose any one specific thing. See this one here, it is not supporting in this Azure platform, South Asia region, it is not supporting the this one standard, and then we don't enterprise, business critical, but we don't have the private. So virtual private Snowflake it is not available, right? Only 3 editions it is supporting, right? And then you can able to see the charges. Same in Azure, if I move to some other thing, for example, the UK South, see this one, the prices varied. And then here also slightly it will vary, right? Based on the platform, based on the region, the charges will be applicable. This $2, whatever you are seeing right here, this particular dollars, it is charged based on your credit utilization. See this one, cost per credit. It means one credit, it is going to be charged around $2. They will calculate based on the credits. Now, this particular credits, how it will be calculated? Based on our virtual warehouse sizes. For example, in our system, in our laptops you will have RAM size, right? So 4 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB, like that, right? Based on the RAM size, when we are increasing your like laptop price also, it will be increased based on the configuration. The same way here, let's observe that one. So how this virtual warehouse sizes will be vary? If you observe, let me give you some details here. Okay, so this one, see this, we have basically storage charges, virtual warehouse, that is nothing but a computation charges, and then cloud services, right? And if you observe this here, see this one, virtual warehouse compute credits, virtual warehouse credit per hour, it is depends on your virtual warehouse size, your virtual warehouse size. So when it is coming to this, see this one, excess, right? This is the new feature Snowpark optimized that they have like introduced here, but so this is still under review. If you observe this standard access, so this one credit. If you are using small virtual warehouse, 2 credits. If you are using medium virtual warehouse, 4 credits. So 4 credits. So that is so 8 credits. So each and every credit. So when you are utilizing, this is per hour basis. So when you are utilizing, so for example, if it is 1 credit, it is utilizing per hour. That so addition based on the addition, if it is so normal enterprise edition, let's assume $2 means, so we need to pay per hour $2. In the when you are using small virtual warehouse, so this is going to utilize 2 credits per hour. Then 2 into 2, $4 we need to pay. So always it is multiplying by 2. If you observe, up to 5x and 6x large it is available virtual warehouse sizes, but so till 4x large we can able to utilize in our projects. But so 5x and 6x still under review, but no one will use more than XL or 2XL, because when you are increasing the virtual warehouse sizes, obviously cost will be increased. Cost is going to be increased. That's why we will minimize that, utilizing the virtual warehouse sizes to so XL or 2XL. Okay. And if you observe where we can able to see that virtual warehouse sizes, if you come to this virtual warehouse, see this one here. When we initially we created only one virtual warehouse here, right? In the project, if you observe, you will not have only one virtual warehouse. It depends on the team. It depends on the like what we are doing. You will have different virtual warehouses. For example, let's assume this one dev virtual warehouse, it is utilizing by all the developers. Let's say we have some testers. We want the separate virtual warehouse for them. Test underscore virtual warehouse we created. And we are going to give extra small. Extra small is, see this one, extra small, 1 credit per hour. If I utilize, see this one, small, 2 credits per hour. If I give medium, 4 credits per hour, it is going to utilize. Based on the virtual warehouse size, your performance will be increased. Your performance will be increased because so the configuration will be very high, right? Nothing but backend servers, how many servers it is going to be configured for this particular virtual warehouse size, right? So that is nothing but a servers. When it is coming here, if you observe, see this one, So based on the virtual warehouse size, when we are increasing, see this, we have only up to 4x large only. We don't have 5x and 6x large, right? When you are obviously, when you are increasing the sizes, then definitely what we are going to pay to the Snowflake, it will be increased. Now, so let it select excess, extra small, and this clusters, right? Clusters, always the best preference will be minimum cluster 1 and then maximum cluster up to 10 we can give. This is the cluster implementation. Cluster is nothing but, for example, I will give you an example here, then we can understand. So we have a like a task or work, one work. We need to finish that in like it will take 100 hours, 100 hours to finish the task with one person, with one person, right? So if you assign this task to, for example, 10 persons, same task to 10 persons, if you distribute the task to 10 persons, so then it is going to finish in 10 hours only, right? It is going to finish in 10 hours only, right? So this is what we are doing here. We are distributing the work to, so 10 persons. So work around time has been reduced, right? The same implementation here. When it is coming to the minimum clusters and maximum clusters, right? What it will do is, if multiple users are utilizing the virtual warehouse, and for example, so all the developers will use virtual warehouse. For example, we have around 4 testers. They are utilizing this particular virtual warehouse. When they are utilizing this, so they can able to like distribute the work, right? Distribute the so for example, so clusters, that is nothing but a backend nodes. So here, see this one, it is going to multi improve query throughput for concurrency workload at the same time. So you can able to so utilize, like, so it will not be in a queue, it will not be in a queue. Instead of that, automatically it is going to increase the clusters, and then it will increase the performance. This particular feature we will call it as a multi warehouse concurrency. Multi warehouse concurrency, increasing the virtual this clusters, right? We used to call scale out. Scale out, don't get confused here. This is related to so minimum clusters and then maximum clusters in virtual warehouse. This is scale out, we used to call it as a scale out. And scale up, another terminology here. These two things you will see mostly in like our uh, certification. Scale up means nothing but increasing, increasing virtual warehouse size. The t-shirt size we used to call t-shirt size. So this particular size, when we are increasing this one, the size, right? If you are increasing the size, t-shirt size, we used to call this as a t-shirt sizes. So this particular size, when you are increasing, we used to call this as a scale up. When you are increasing the clusters, that is nothing but a scale out. Okay, so don't get confused with the terminologies. Okay, these are the configuration they will do. And here we have scaling policy. We have two policies. One is standard, another one is economy. One is standard, another one is economy here. Always, so we'll go with standard only. So because economy, it will like reduce the costing, but what will happen is the performance will be reduced. So standard, what it will do is, it will immediately, if it finds, so there is a the queue, so and the clusters, immediately it will increase to the next cluster. When it is coming to the economy, it will wait for around 6 minutes, then it will go for the next cluster. Within 6 minutes, again if it finds the same workload, then it is going to increase the to the next cluster. Otherwise it will wait. So always they will go for a standard one. And one more thing, here we have, see this one, auto suspend. This auto suspend, we will not keep 10 minutes when you are working. So it will be 45 minutes or 1 hour. Because if you keep auto suspend for 10 minutes, right? So what will happen here? So every 10 minutes, if virtual warehouse is in idle state, if it is in idle state, automatically it is going to be suspended. virtual warehouse will be suspended. So again, when it is spinning up, again when you are starting the virtual warehouse, the price, right? Just try to understand this. What it will do is, when you are starting virtual warehouse, it is going to charge by default for 60 seconds when it is starting. That is nothing but a 1 minute. 1 minute it will charge by default. After 1 minute, for every second it is going to charge. Every second what we are utilizing the virtual warehouse, how much time we are utilizing, based on that every second it will charge. But first when you started, right, it is by default it is going to charge for 60 seconds. That is nothing but a 1 minute. And every 10 minutes if it is starting again and again, then what will happen? So it is going to be unnecessary, we are the billing it for the 1 minute, right? So instead of that, so you can increase the virtual warehouse auto suspend mode to 45 minutes. Within 45 minutes it will check. So then it is going to observe if it is not utilized. So from last 45 minutes, any of the user, then virtual warehouse will go to the suspend mode. Otherwise, every 10 minutes, it will go to the suspend mode. If you observe here, let's observe, let me create finish. Now another virtual warehouse is created, right? We have one dev virtual warehouse, test virtual warehouse. The same way for data loading, like implementing task, implementing Snowpipe implementation. If you wanted to, Snowpipe is, don't get confused, Snowpipe is, so we are going to discuss that. That is a continuous ingestion process. We used to call it as a continuous ingestion process without running manually. We will discuss that. Now, for example, in that particular situation, we will create another thing for data loading activity, load virtual warehouse. For this data loading, we need to give the medium. And so this one, let it be maximum. And then remaining everything, let it be default. And then click on finish. Now we have 3 virtual warehouses. Now in the last session when you observed, so every role when you have created, so for the role, we have assigned to the virtual warehouse, right? We given a grant permission to the role to utilize only one virtual warehouse. Let's say the testers, they logged in, then by default they can able to see in this particular worksheet here, they can able to see only the virtual warehouse which it is assigned to that particular role, right? So but here this is the account admin, I can able to see, so all the virtual warehouses here. But if they joined with a developer role, developer only have access to this particular dev virtual warehouse only, right? So in the, for example, if you observe here, let me change that role to developer. Observe this. And which virtual warehouse I have access now? See this, only dev virtual warehouse. So developer, every time they have to use only this virtual warehouse only. So we have configured like that. If like other users, if they wanted to utilize the virtual warehouse, then the role, so permissions, it should, they should have the permission to utilize that virtual warehouse, right? That's how this virtual warehouse is going to assigned to the specific role and then specific users. Now let's come to this particular account admin. Okay, now we have configured 3 particular virtual warehouses, right? Based on the utilization, see this, now virtual warehouse in idle state, it is not triggered, right? It means we are not having, it is not so allocating any billing for us, right? It is not calculating any billing for us. Let's say for example, let's execute some a query here. For example, select star from some table. So let's take this particular table. Now let's run this. Observe this one. We don't have any data here. Let's check the data in this particular table. See this one, what happened now? Virtual warehouse is active now, right? This turned into green. It means how much time we ran this? 1.66 seconds. 1.66 seconds, right? So 70, so around it is telling that, so around 1.66 seconds it has taken, right? So this particular time, the end of the day, it is going to the calculate all the that how many seconds we have the utilize this virtual warehouse based on the accumulation, right? The Snowflake is going to charge from us. That is the charges we are talking about related to the virtual warehouse size. This charge based on your size and then the edition which you are going to use, right? That is one thing. And coming to cloud services, right? Cloud services, see this what they are telling, up to 10% of the daily computation cost, it includes as a free. So it means the most of the customers will not see any charges for the cloud service utilization. Because if you observe here, so I account come to see this one. So here the usage you can able to see credits utilized 1.49. So credits utilized and observe the cloud services charges, it is zero for us, right? So cloud services charges is zero, right? We have only credits charges and then the storage charges. Storage charges is nothing but our storage, average storage here, right? So only these two things it is calculating, right? Credits utilized, but so for the so cloud services utilization, it is always, it will be free. We can consider that as a free because of the they have given the cloud services utilization, it is a free. And along with that, as discussed, we have some serverless features. It means these features readily available in Snowflake. When you are utilizing the Snowflake feature, this serverless feature, then only it is the charge will be applicable for us. How much time it is running? For example, if you configure Snowpipe, if you configure materialized view, for example, the Snowpipe has run 1 minute. For 1 minute, it is going to charge. For example, materialized view we done. So for the refresh will happen in the backend. Refresh has taken half minute. Then for that half minute, it is going to charge, right? Like that, we have around 5 serverless features is available. Data replication, materialized view, the clustering implementation, search optimization services. We will discuss these things in the going forward. Now these features also the Snowflake will charge, and this is related to editions what we have discussed already. And along with this, right, we have another charge is applicable. So let's select any one region here. So pre-purchased and post-purchased, if you observe, see this one here, it is telling 40 terabyte per month, 40 terabyte per month for this particular AWS cloud platform, this particular region. And so see this one, standard edition $2, enterprise edition $3, business critical edition $4. The same way, the pre-purchased we used to call it as a capacity storage. This one we will call it as a on demand. Postpaid is nothing but a on demand here after utilization. Pre-purchase this we will call it as a, so before we are paying advanced, right? That is nothing but a pre-purchased. When it is coming to here, see this one, so same region which we have selected, so you can able to see, sorry, it is not selecting. Okay, so capacity storage, right? Here they are telling $23 per month, right? For this is for a storage, right? This we know that. Along with that, we have another thing called data transfer implementation. For example, when you choose our this one, the data transfer, right? So no one has implemented till now. So because this is when the picture will come to data transfer means, for example, let's assume that it's a simple thing. For example, your all your personal data is available in your laptop. You wanted to, your laptop has been crashed or something, so you wanted to go for a new laptop and you have purchased a new laptop. Now you wanted to shift all your data from your old laptop to the new laptop. That is nothing but a data transfer, right? We are transferring all our data. The same way here, let's assume when you have configured a account, we configured account in AWS platform, right? Maybe down the line, after 1 or 2 years, organization has decided we don't want to go for cloud platform, AWS platform. We wanted to move the complete thing to Azure. We wanted to move complete thing to Azure. So as per the, so they have some tie up with Azure, so whatever it may be, right? So what they will do, they wanted to shift everything from AWS cloud platform to Azure platform. Or another thing is, within AWS itself, one region to another region, due to some security reasons, they want to transfer the particular data, whatever they are storing, right? Everything will be in a cloud platform itself, right? Whatever they are having, they wanted to move from one region to another region. Then that also data transfer will come into the picture, data transfer charges. But nowadays, whoever is selected the platform, they are continuing with that only, right? For example, from AWS or Azure, you wanted to transfer it to another cloud platform, GCP, then also data transfer will come into the picture, right? So now if you observe the data transfer implementation, so there is within the region, there is no charges. Within the same region, if you wanted to move within the same region, you will have a, for example, Jones will be there, right? So then there is no charges. For example, within like a country, you will have a number of states. If you wanted to move it to one state to another state, there is no charges. If you wanted to go outside the country, there will be a charges. If you wanted to go outside the continent, there will be a charges. The same way here, see this, transferring to the same region to the same cloud, there is no charges for the data transfer. So when it is the different region with the same cloud, the charges will be different based on the terabyte, how much terabyte you are going to transfer. And based on one account to another, I mean one platform to another platform. See this one, transfer the data to the different cloud. For example, this is AWS. From AWS, you are moving it to Azure or GCP, then different charges will be applicable, right? The same way, if you observe, if you are selected a Azure, from Azure you are moving to some other different things, right? Then also this is the charges. And then GCP very limited regions from the GCP, so same thing. Like these are the charges, how it is going to be applicable, right? Based on these charges, right, we can come to one conclusion. For example, let's say any business user came to us and they asked, can you give me like approximately how much amount I wanted to spend? So for a year, based on my requirement for a Snowflake utilization, for Snowflake utilization. If they like, for example, so if they are telling that, so then, so what will happen here? So let's observe this here. See this. So let's say this is the requirement. Okay, this is before like accepting the project in Snowflake, what the client will do, they will ask, so could you please give me, so how much I need to pay, right? Approximate amount, the calculations, right? Based on that, we will decide. Let's say this is the client requirement. For example, customers has purchased Snowflake capacity standard. These are all assumptions. And the United States region is United States, and they are having the data load every day. Every day they are having a data load, and they are having 8 users. 8 users means eight, for example, let's say developers or what, so testers, whatever it may be. And so data storage per month is 4 terabyte. This is per month, and it runs every day. The data load, it is going to run around 2.5 hours. Just a minute. Now, if you observe, see this one. So they are using small standard virtual warehouse. And at the same time, it enables 8 users to work, so 5 days a week. It means we are working 5 days a week, and then approximately 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., that is around 10 hours. When the users, when they are utilizing, they will utilize medium virtual warehouse. And based on this, if you come to the calculations, right? If you observe, see this one, data load frequency daily. And what is the virtual warehouse they are using? Small virtual warehouse. Small virtual warehouse means 2 credits. Then every day data load 2.5 hours they are implementing. So 2 credits and then 2.5 hours, right? And then so around approximately every day, it means if you take 31 days, then this will be the credits. This is not a dollars, this is a credits. How many credits they are utilizing, right? 2 credits per hour, so multiplied by 2.5 hours every day, that multiplied by 31 days, 155 credits they are going to utilize. And at the same time, when it is coming to the users requirement, 8 users, they are utilizing medium virtual warehouse. Medium virtual warehouse, it will be 4 credits per hour. Now if you come to this 8 users, so they are working on 10 hours, right? And if you come to this 4 credits, 10 hours, and then so approximately we will work only weekdays. So weekends, if you leave around approximately 20 days, if you take 20 days multiplied by 10 hours into 4, around 800 credits, right? This is also credits. If you calculate data load and then users requirement, so it will become around 955 credits. Totally how many credits we are using? 955 credits, right? This is per month. This is per month, right? Now let's come to this. So when it is coming to the storage, so what they said? 4 terabyte, 4 terabyte per month. When it is coming to 4 terabyte per month, so every like the byte, if you go for a capacity storage, $23, $23. And if you calculate, this is for 12 months. So calculation, observe this, 1000, approximately 1000, so $104 they will utilize only for a storage. When it is coming to the utilization, virtual warehouse utilization, 955 credits totally, users and then data load, right? This is for the computation charges. 955 credits, 2 per credit, $2 per credit. And so this is a kind of some discount. For example, if you are official partner for the Snowflake, the organizations will get some discount based on the when they are like approaching the sales guys, right? They will give some discount based on the organization, depends. So when they are giving, so 5% discount they have given, and then this is calculating for 12 months. If you calculate this, approximately it is going to be calculated around $21, 774, right? This is the charges. So what they are going to be like so applicable for only utilization of the computation charges, right? And at the same time, if you observe the total price for this particular requirement per year, approximately they are going to spend around $23. This is not only for like virtual warehouse utilization and then storage, right? This is including they are like taking care of complete services. It's complete SAS, right? The versioning controlling, and then so patch management, and at the same time like the DR data disaster recovery situations, and so the data backup and everything they are taking care of. And then always it will be with the high performance. We are not going to bother about partitions, we are not going to bother about the performance implementation, we are not going to bother about the storage. Always it will say elastic. So we are utilizing complete features, all the along with the features we are ready to use. And then so we are going to, so they will be charged around $23,000 approximately. When you compared with other traditional systems, right? So it is going to be around nearly, so 50 to 60% of the costing we can able to reduce as per the some of the surveys, the companies which we are they are utilizing other things when they compare the costing. So if they wanted to maintain any server, if they wanted to purchase a licenses itself, it is going to take some so nearly, so this the particular dollars remaining, all the maintenance and everything will be again, so they have to so worry about that, right? Instead of that, so if they go for this, like if with the minimal amount, so based on the utilization only, for example, so this is the minimal requirement, right? So it can be applicable for like everything, right? Every startup to like the all MNCs, they can able to utilize. And the same way, we have another example also I have given here. You can go through that also. The same thing, whatever we have discussed, right? Everything is available here for your references. You can go through that based on this costing, right? The implementation. In the next session, we are going to discuss about our how to like control the costing. For example, so if it is a license based, so we are very familiar with like licensed based, and then we will never worry about so how much time we are utilizing our like a database, how much time we are utilizing our like how much time we are running our queries, right? For example, here what will happen, how much, see this one is now it is in a idle, right? It is suspended because we are not utilized this virtual warehouse from last 10 minutes, right? After 10 minutes it has been suspended, right? So here what will happen, every time when you are running a query, it is going to calculate the how much time you have ran. Based on that, so the charges will be applicable, right? In this particular situation, let's assume any new guy came into the team and they are not aware of the how the Snowflake charges is going to be applicable. Let's assume they are running very lengthy queries, very long running queries. If you observe some of the sample databases, you can see huge volume of the data. See this one, we have around 40 GB, we have around 300, we have around 1.7 TB data, right? And then almost this is 900 GB data. If they are running some queries on this table, definitely it is going to take so nearly 20 to 30 minutes of the time, right? Then unnecessarily we are going to your our computation charges will be increased, right? We have to avoid all these situations. We need to control that. To control that, we have a concept of resource monitoring. What it will do is it is going to keep on monitoring our virtual warehouses. Here, which virtual warehouse we are using, based on that particular virtual warehouse, see this one, now you can able to see here, see this, all the virtual warehouses, dev virtual warehouse, load virtual warehouse, right? And then test virtual warehouse. Based on which virtual warehouse we are utilizing, based on that it is going to keep on like a checking which virtual warehouse you are utilizing, what is the number of credits you are using. Based on that, it will send a alert. Based on that, it will take a action. If credit limit is reached, then it is going to suspend that particular virtual warehouse utilization to that specific roles, or a specific virtual warehouse itself, it is going to be suspended. Then no one can able to utilize that virtual warehouse. Then what will happen, you are going to go and then you will go and then recheck. So if you observe in history tab, you can able to see, so every query when you are running, so how much duration it is running. See this one, how much total duration it is running, and then so who ran this, the session ID, and then you can able to see complete information here, the user, so which user, and then which virtual warehouse they are using, and then everything, so they can able to understand from here. So based on that, we can like so go and then we can control the things, right? That possibility is there, that is we will call it as a so controlling the credit limit by utilizing resource monitoring concept. So that resource monitoring, so we'll come to the so next session how to control the billing and all those things. Okay, so just to go through these things, so this is the like of the minimum requirement how we need to understand, so how the Snowflake is going to be charged from the users. Okay, so just a minute, let me come to the questions here. What exactly mean by serverless? Okay, serverless is nothing but, so for example, so it will be available when you are utilizing then only it will be, the charges will be applicable. So it will keep on like idle, so but it will be there in our the futures, but when you are utilizing, then only it will use. So that is the concept of serverless future here. It doesn't require any virtual warehouse. For example, this is the virtual warehouse. When you are utilizing, what will happen in the back end, how much virtual, this is depends on the virtual warehouse, all right? When you are running, so extra small means one server, right? So the serverless features, it won't require any virtual warehouse. By default, it is going to pick it from the backend default one, and it is going to run. Whether your virtual warehouse is up or not, it doesn't matter. It is by default, it is whenever it is like got a trigger, it is going to run it from a backend. So that is nothing but a serverless feature here. The Snowpipe implementation, when we are implementing, we will discuss that.
So Dinesh, like, is there any cost based on the users? Like, if you have got 100 users, the cost is different, or it's only about storage, computation, and
Only about storage and computation. It doesn't matter about so how many number of users we are using here. But obviously, number of users is increased, utilization also it will be increased, right?
yeah,
But it will
right.
never count about the the users. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Thanks.
In which scenario we can use serverless switcher? Yeah. So for continuous ingestion process, and then clustering implementation, and then implementing materialized views, we will see the scenarios. Okay. So materialized view, refresh, all these things we will use serverless switches, because so we don't require automatically, it has to be triggered from the backend. It don't require any human involvement. Then the serverless feature will come into the picture. With regards to disabling virtual warehouse while running time taking query, virtual warehouse disabled for the user for the role avoid to the credit usage. Yeah, what will happen is in this particular situation, right? So when the virtual warehouse is running, it is taking long time, it is going to completely stop that particular virtual warehouse, the complete virtual warehouse, once the credit limit is reached. So it won't allow other users also to run that particular virtual warehouse. Any other questions?
Hey, Dinesh.
Yeah.
So, at the very beginning of the
Mm,
warehouse
mm, mm, mm,
initiation, so you said like
mm.
60 seconds, and then
Correct.
minimum is 60
Mm,
seconds, and then
mm.
every second, right? It is just
After that, every second it will calculate. Mm.
okay. So every time a data warehouse become active, that time it
Mm.
takes like it
It
charge for us
charges
like
60 seconds.
60
Yes,
seconds.
correct.
Okay, okay. So not at the time of creation. So every time
No,
it
no, not
starts
at the time of creation.
60
Every time
seconds
when
limit.
it started. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So and then one more thing, I think it may not be related to this
Mm-hmm,
building,
mm-hmm,
but
mm,
you said it's auto scale up and auto scale out and scale up, right?
mm-hmm,
I know how the Hadoop works, Hadoop cluster works, but
mm-hmm,
here I just need to understand, like, if we submit a job,
mm,
let's say we are using medium warehouse. So
mm-hmm,
no matter how much the data is going to be scanned, or
mm,
how much resources it is needed, but
mm,
definitely if we are using any medium data warehouse, medium sized
mm,
data warehouse,
mm-hmm,
it start that warehouse, and it launches the job on that, right?
mm,
So
mm, mm,
if the other job which
mm,
requires the whole
mm,
warehouse size,
mm, mm.
then will it be launched on the same warehouse, or it'll that particular job will wait for the previous job to be completed and then launch the other job, or it just
It
goes
will,
with
so
the
in,
available resources?
it what will, there is a two concepts. One is the job running. So one concept is within one virtual warehouse, right?
Hmm. Correct.
Within one virtual warehouse, you will have a number of clusters, right? That is a one concept here.
Correct.
Another thing is, so as you said, so for example, when the virtual warehouse is fully occupied, right, it will not go and then shift to the another virtual warehouse.
Okay.
Within the virtual warehouse itself, it
Mhm.
will like shift to the clusters, that's it, increasing the performance. But
Okay.
so when it is coming to the virtual warehouse, that is an individual thing. So because based on the role, we are going to configure the virtual warehouse.
Okay. In this
Mm,
case,
mm,
but every job, I mean, particular job will be
mm,
launched on a
mm.
single cluster only. It won't actually share multiple cluster for
No, no, no.
processing the job.
In first, it will launch with single cluster. If it
Mhm.
identified that, so again, so one more cluster is required, then it will increase.
Yeah, that
Otherwise,
depends
it
on
won't.
the scaling policy.
That depends on the scaling policy.
Yeah,
Yes,
internally how it determine if there is a
exactly.
necessary of starting another cluster or something.
Mm, mm,
So it makes sure that if you launch a single job, that
mm.
definitely will be launched on a single cluster. It won't actually
Single cluster.
span onto, I mean, multiple clusters, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Dinesh,
Good
on the
question.
same screen,
Mm, mm, mm,
will Snowflake provides the information
mm.
what is this sizing means?
This
Uh,
sizing, you are
yeah,
talking about this size. This
right.
size is nothing but one server. It is allocated to one server. Let me show you something here. I've given some information. See this one. This is one server. This is two servers,
Mhm.
right?
This is something
Mm.
something confused me
But
here. You
don't
know,
get confused. But the server sizes, right? They so didn't given so information on that. Okay, so it's like the backend. So how they are configuring the things. Okay, but so
okay.
we can like assume that this is one server. This is a two servers.
Okay, actually, this
Mm,
concept and this is actually conflicting with the
mm.
clustering. You know,
Ah, ah, ah. Within one virtual warehouse, you will have a multiple clusters.
yeah. So you see that
Mm,
consider like there are medium, right?
mm, mm,
In
mm,
medium,
mm,
what my understanding actually the cluster in the sense
mm,
is medium is having actually a 10 GB size
mm,
and 16 core processor CPU,
mhm. Okay.
right?
Mm,
In
mm,
this case, if
mm,
we give the maximum of 10 clusters,
mm,
then it means that it's a scale out of 10 servers, 10
mm,
nodes. I mean to say
mm,
10 nodes,
mm,
each one is
mm,
having 10 GB memory and the 16 CPU, right? It will
mm,
be
mm,
factored accordingly, So
mm, mm, mm.
like that, actually, in on-premise, it is
Yes,
like that,
exactly. The same concept. These clusters, we can consider it as a nodes. So this size we will consider as a servers.
Yeah, and server and the node are almost the same meaning, It doesn't actually
No, no.
the
Here,
different.
here within one server, there will be multiple nodes will be there.
Mm-hmm.
This one, this we are talking about. So 1 to 10 nodes. So it will divide that particular server into so different nodes, and then it will distribute the things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These distributions, I mean, they're
Mm,
logically, internally logically separated, or maybe
just
if you
logically
understand
separated.
the like concept of
Mm,
the ECS or
mm, mm,
any
mm,
Kubernetes cluster, pods,
mhm.
there they call it as a pods. So one instance,
Okay.
but that still be launched in the single server only.
Okay. Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
the same way. Maybe if a single server be considered as a multiple nodes, then
mm.
it will be launched as a instances. So logically,
Instance.
it is separated, like shared the whole physical memory or the CPUs. in that
Mm, mm.
server, it will be logically separated with a certain amount of memory with the
Certain.
one or
I
two
checked
CPUs or something like
4 credit per hour here and for small. Can you just check for small? Maybe it is less.
It will be less. See this one. One
Yes, I
credit per
think
hour.
this is the credit, one credit. This is the credit calculation. If you say one and then X small 2, then medium 4, then 8 and 16.
Yes. Yes.
I think
Yes.
this is referring to
Yeah.
the credit uh, that it will take.
The charges.
Right.
But Snowflake doesn't provide like what is medium, like how many VM
No.
okay.
No. It is not provided the information. So just they have given the things like this. That's it.
Okay. When we
We
schedule the
have.
job,
Mm.
when we schedule the job, do we have an option to select how many parallel processes or how many nodes that job should run?
No. So that depends on the virtual warehouse which we are assigning to that particular role.
Okay.
Based on that configuration, automatically it will decide. So our involvement will not be there.
Yeah, that everything is managed by
Correct.
Snowflake.
Internally. Okay.
Internally it
Yeah.
will be managed. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and yeah, that's how. I mean, we cannot actually take each server as a or each cluster as a node here,
Mm, mm,
probably because in that case, if we take it as a node um, in a clustering, so data
mm,
or processing spread across that nodes. But here, not like that, right? If you submit a single job, as you said, it will be launched on only one cluster. It cannot actually go beyond that cluster, right?
no. So, Mohan, one thing here. So it will launch. So immediately it will launch on one cluster, and
Mhm.
then if it is not sufficient, then it will go to the distributed to the another clusters. But within that particular the size only. It
Yeah,
will not go
yeah.
beyond
My
this
doubt
size.
was the same. I asked you, right? I
Uh-huh.
have a single job.
Mm. It
It
will
launched.
distribute the data to multiple clusters.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, that's
Yes, yes.
that's
Yeah.
what my
Otherwise,
question
there
was.
is no meaning of this scale out, right?
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay, so it can actually distribute the data or what
Distribute the data.
compute things and into multiple clusters itself. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's say we can say that indirectly it's a instances, different instances.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you.